That's why shots fired. That's why
really
shots
bad.
fired.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is really inopportune. But
We're back, by the way. All right. So we had to do a bit of updating because there was some information. There was some missing information from last session. There is actually a physical treaty that was given to Mal as part of his conversation with Tonelli that he is to deliver to the ruling class here, the members of the Alliance. But there is also the other matter at hand that you already all knew of.
Correct.
So you've all gotten yourselves situated, settle into your research for the rest of the day. But we're gonna kind of go through this stuff in sort of an order that ends up happening. So Cassius, since you opted to look around the bar scene and try to find out some interesting things that are going on, can I get a perception from you?
Certainly.
And can I get a charisma check from you?
Oh no. Oh shit! Wait, how many? Have we recovered our damage?
It's been like 5 days since.
Okay, so I only had 1 point of damage. Shit, I've still had a -2 though. What's that? I'm at a 7.
Bump stats are real, man.
No, I had like a 9 for my. No, I had a 10, but then I had something that gave me a negative, and I'm even lower than that. But that's fine. I'll probably roll. Oh, yeah, I rolled not too bad.
All right. Yeah, not too bad. Okay.
Well, not too bad considering that the average of mine falls somewhere between 10 and 15, regardless of how many ranks I have in things.
So, you're hanging out here, in this tavern, and there's not a whole lot going on. Like, rumors are pretty bland around here. Just the usual stuff. Somebody did this to my cart. Somebody did this to my house. I think blah 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 is pregnant. I think blah 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 is like cheating on their husband. You know, the typical stuff you hear.
Real exciting stuff.
Yeah. Very, very boring stuff around here. Zeke, you head on over to... There is actually a message board. You spend some time looking about for it, but it's not too terribly hard to find. A couple of different taverns have message boards, as is there one for the city itself. There are a lot of miscellaneous tasks. Many of them seem relatively easy. A lot of it is stuff that people on the outskirts are asking people to do. You know, there's the occasional problems with some larger sized creatures coming in and ruining crops, and like a bunch of the people have kind of gotten together, pooled up enough money, and asked that, like, you know, somebody come out and clean it up, and they'll give them what money they've set aside for this project. In addition, they'll, let whatever money is, on whatever the things are, and let them keep the hides or whatever else might be of value in that circumstance. But a lot of the jobs are like this. There's no like larger scale jobs, just a lot of very like uninteresting kind of cleanup jobs here and there.
All right.
As far as your research, Ra, initially you can find, give me a knowledge religion, see how your research goes.
Okay, I'm gonna use my once per day extra.
The amulet is not for researching.
Okay. Alright, that's fine. Oh my lord, really?
Okay. So what you're basically doing here is your amulet helps with inversion. It's insight, so it's kind of providing you with direction when you're taking in the information. This knowledge check specifically is you trying to find the information in the library that you're looking for. So you're going book by book, kind of pulling things out, trying to get a hang on it, and you manage to grab quite a few books related to the God War. You're told that you are allowed to take these books with you, but as of basically as of 24 hours from when you leave here, the book will return to the library. Spinks, you are trying to find out some information about the local area, so why don't you also give me a knowledge local? Okay. So in your research, you'll get a lot of books having to do with various like locations of interests. Like you're probably going to have to narrow down what specific things you're looking for about the town, or about like things within the city, because there's a lot of books about the city. But there's only a few that you're allowed to take out. So what do you want to kind of narrow the search down to? Or the research down to, I should say.
I would have told her to, like, since she was doing this to help me, that we should focus on looking for things like, one, we knew we were kind of reading them a treaty, so look for things maybe concerning, like, their government, and, like, maybe their, like, I don't know, like, rules, laws kind of, like, stuff here. Like, maybe focus on, like, information kind of about that, since we know we're going to be, like, offering them a treaty, so that information might be, like, useful to know.
Okay. And then Aravos, you are specifically looking into economics. So here I will allow you to either give me a local, a history, or an economics check. Economics does require ranks in it, though.
So I don't have that.
Yeah. Alright, so you can get a rudimentary idea of sort of the economic layout of things. There is a pretty wide wealth gap between things, and it manifests not in the way that things in the Inner Sanctum are more expensive per se. Things are just much better quality comparatively. The things in the Inner Sanctum are things that, like, are easily worth the price that they are. Like, most of the things there are magical, whereas things on the Outer Sanctum are simply mundane equipment. Like, you can't buy a regular sword in the Inner Sanctum. Even a really, like, artistically decorated sword has to warrant the value that it's selling for in the Inner Sanctum, or it has to be, like, masterwork beyond all compare. So it has to, like, start in the thousands of gold range, not just in the, hundreds of gold range. But most of it, even then, is magical with at the very least, something reinforcing the precision of it to make sure, like, it is less likely to be destroyed, kind of acting just as a abjurative element more so than as something to make the weapon better. And a lot of stuff here is designed more ornately, and everything does have a much higher price tag. But again, it's reflected by what you're seeing in the quality or the, like, artistic nature of what it is. Whereas in the outer sanctum, you're just simply finding things that are what you might pick up in an everyday town, if you just needed something for doing a specific purpose.
Okay.
But you can easily tell, walking about in the Inner Sanctum, that it's the kind of place where if you weren't making, like, hundreds of gold a month, you couldn't even afford to live there for, like, a year before you'd go broke.
Okay. The main impression I wanted to get was, am I going to get ripped off if I buy things here, or am I going to lose out if I try to sell things here?
No, they won't buy anything below like 500 gold here in the Inner Sanctum. Okay. And they can't afford to buy things over 500 gold in the Outer Sanctum.
That makes sense.
Occasionally, you might be able to sell, like, a +1 sword or something like that out there, but it's like a very rare sale, and they are kind of cutting the price down because they're like, look, people come in here all the time selling +1 swords and hoping to make money. Like, we don't need any more +1 swords. And in the when you get into the Inner Sanctum, like, +1 swords are a joke. Like, nobody needs a +1 sword in the Inner Sanctum. You're buying a sword to put it on display because it's a beautiful piece of artwork. Or you really need to get a job done, and you really need something that is going to be capable of doing the job that you're looking for. So you don't just want it to be +1. It needs to either have, like, the fire you need to help you, like, burn out whatever infestation you have, or, like, it's got to be cold because you're looking to have something decorative that'll keep your drinks from getting warm. You know, that kind of stuff. And Mal, you'll find that the people around the forge look at you somewhat strangely as you work on your special material. But many of them are very nervous to interact with you because you have material in front of you that is otherworldly, and so much so to the point that they wonder why you're here and not elsewhere, it seems. Like, some people are even muttering that, like, why is he here? Shouldn't he be, like, somewhere nicer? His tools are not... I don't think he could even use these tools here.
Okay. At some point in the evening, Mal would want to do something that he's been kind of scared because he doesn't want to know. But when I have some time to myself, I want to use a spell and research something.
Mm-hmm.
I will click it. I'm gonna pull out my empty journal and cast this and just say the collectors or the reapers, and then sort of like populate this book, and then make whatever check.
The collectors or the reapers?
Whatever the guy referred to them. I thought he called them the collectors. Maybe they're the reapers. I feel like I might be confusing mental canon on it. But...
Which guy are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Dickface.
I'm still confused.
I had like a...
Oh yes, the guys that are coming after you with the daggers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, am I confusing the name, or it's corrected now just so I don't like build on a bad
Actually, my brain cannon is off, and that was a note I was looking for the other day.
I think it was the collectors or the reapers, one of the two. They both made sense to me. They're basically synonyms. So.
Well, the people they would send to find you would be the collectors.
Okay.
I think that's the name I gave you, but that's not specifically their name. But I think you just need the concept, right?
Yeah. So I'm basically using this to search for information on anything that could be referred to as the collectors, or something related to Bladebound.
Okay. So you're probably going to be a little bit frustrated with me when I say this, but I do need a caster level check for you when you cast this spell.
Okay. Is it concentration or spell resistance or anything that's not
It is... I will allow it to be similar enough to spell resistance that you could apply any feats that are relevant.
Okay.
But it is not concentration.
Woo!
Excellent. So you cast this spell, and it's very strange as you're, like, holding this book, because you feel almost like something is trying to stop you from casting this spell, but you have no reason why. Like, there's no energy around you, you don't feel like something on you, but you feel like the book itself does not want this information to fill it. And when it does, there are only a couple of pages of information.
What type of check?
You can give me a Knowledge Arcana check. Nice. Multiple pages will repeat over and over again. Father dearest will collect what is theirs. It is theirs, they will collect it. They always collect it. They're coming, it will be theirs. If it's not yours, they will collect it. And it just kind of repeats this, like, in different phrasings over and over and over again. But you do get to, like, as you're perusing through this book, you do reach a point in the book where there is one very clear picture that looks identical to the dagger that you have. It's drawn onto the page, and, like, looking at the page, if you like, sort of tilt your head a little bit as you, like, bend the page, and you notice that the dagger is almost three-dimensional on the page. You can bend the page, and the page will kind of reorient. The dagger will kind of reorient to match the view that you want to look at the dagger from.
And it looks like exactly like Dickface.
Exactly like it.
And just so I'm not confusing my in-character, out-of-character, Father Dearest was the one that was associated with Arius' backstory as well?
That's correct.
Okay. And... okay. I would note down in my journal the information about Father Dearest, and sort of just draw lines between
Don't
Arius.
I look good?
You're famous.
I am
Somewhere in
famous.
some library, someone wrote about you. I would like to know what library that is, but unfortunately, it's not how this magic works.
I'll give you a freebie. I'm not famous. We're famous. But of course, it's just me too. One piece of the many. That's how we find you.
But I don't see anyone else being written about in this book. You must have done something quite extraordinary.
No, I think you're misunderstanding. They're all me. I am the collector, and they are the collectors. If only I could speak to them again. If only I could be with them again. Be with me again. You keeping me away is so very uncomfortable.
Well, according to your earlier threats, they will be here soon, yes?
Oh, you've moved.
I do that a lot.
You've delayed the time it will take for them to find you, but they will find you. They are looking. I shine like a beacon to them. You've just gone so far that the light is lost over the horizon.
Mountains do obscure light. It's a property of shadows.
Yes. But give me even a single moment to gain my advantage, and I will take it over you. And then they will be here sooner than you expect.
Yes, why don't I just grant you access to a message spell, and then you can... I'm just kidding. Shut up. And I sort of like...
You son of a bitch! When I get my hands on you...
You'd have to grant him a sending spell, not message.
John, Rules Lawyer is my role in the party. Thank you very much.
But one of the things that you do feel from that is, like, it took a lot of energy for you to even get the pages that you have in this book.
And just as like a sanity thing, I would like just research any other random topic, just because this is like my first time using this spell.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure it's not just like I'm troubling the spell. So if I just cast like something generic like lions,
you get everything you want to know about lions.
Okay. So I definitely would read there was something going on here. Someone was trying to hide information or something. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
That'd be my actions for the evening, and then in the morning I'd want the party to get together.
Okay. So you can run around gathering up everybody from their various hotels, or inns, rather.
So,
My spells for the day?
Yes, please. Excellent. Thank you, sir.
alright, listen up.
What is
men,
TCBT?
Tough crowd and Black Tentacles.
Okay.
I didn't put a comma, so.
Nice. Do me a favor, cast that on Meldronicus next combat.
God damn this dumb spell! Why does it exist in the... No, I'm just kidding. I'm not getting much here. I feel like I stand out too much. I thought that could be the case, but I figured I might as well try. Nonetheless, we are situated here. We seem to be set up for however long these negotiations.
Hold on. I look at Sphinx's hand. Is it glowing?
It is not glowing.
Continue. We're not being watched, it seems.
I'm going to take the contract up to the nobility today. Zeke, you shall come with me as my bodyguard. And Sphinx, I would like you to come with in case the spirits have any insight on what is truthfully going on in this town. While that is going on, Erebos, Cassius, and Ra, I need you, the three of you, to work together and use your strengths. We don't have much time. Cassius, I know.
I'm good.
Cassius, you need to understand.
I can do what I need to do. That doesn't mean I need to. I can do what I need to do.
You are very good at making connections, Cassius, and that is what I need you to do. I know that you have drifted far from that for good reason, but...
Yeah, but also if I'm hanging out with this jackass, I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb.
Well, yes,
but
if you don't hang out with this jackass, then you have a very high bar to get into the inner district, where you may need to get the information that you need.
Well, in that case, this jackass is going to stand out like a sore thumb standing there with this jackass.
Cassius, it's confusing when you talk to yourself in the third person. Mal, I assume I'll be in charge of this secondary unit?
Man, it's unfortunate you gave up your stand-up career for this.
You, the three of you, will learn to work as equals on this.
I'm good.
Refusing a direct order, Cassius?
Can the two of you shut up and let him finish?
Important. What do you need me to do?
I seem to think that there is some sort of minimum age limit to inscript in the military, but do I actually have two 12-year-olds here?
Yeah, Ron, Cassius, act your age.
I was trying to ask you what you need me to do, and then he kept interjecting in our conversation.
I basically remind you of the name. Do I have what is the full spelling on this guy's name, by the way, Steve?
Clemens.
Clemens, and how is his last name?
Andreasen.
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 So, Mal, we're not to reveal our military status then, remain undercover?
Myself, Zeke, and Sphinx shall reveal ourselves as the military present in town. For the most part, we have remained mostly unassociated, I believe. I would be surprised if they pinned more of us together than there are. There does not seem to be much on these outskirts that they care about. But yes, the three of you, as discriminately as possible, and that is where I believe the three of you can operate very well, need to find this man and do it quickly.
What do you need me specifically to do?
I need you to find this man while alerting as few people as possible to the fact that we are looking for him.
I can do that.
And while I understand that you don't... Sorry, go ahead, Ra.
I was going to say, so we were told he was in caves to the north of the city, so you want us to head to those caves?
No, we know that he found something in those caves, but he has essentially boarded himself up wherever that is. I don't think he boarded himself up in the caves, to my understanding. I thought he boarded himself up somewhere in town to hide while waiting, because the impression that Tonelli gave us was that if he brings us to wherever it is that he found, he will have to open it up because he has sealed it off. So that would lead me to believe that he is not in the caves, but is lurking somewhere in town, or potentially on the outskirts of town, I suppose. But that is what I need you to find out. And beware that Tonelli alluded that this man may have enemies and that he himself is very skittish. So it is important that if you do this, you do not draw any more attention. That is why I will bring this treaty. This treaty, at this point, I assume, is just going to be a Trojan horse, if you're familiar with the concept of this fourth wall.
Never heard of a Trojan.
Yeah, it's a long story, but We will draw the attention of whoever, and you guys need to use this opportunity to gain as much information as you can.
Did
Time
Tonelli
is-
give you did we give him advance notice? Do we have a word we can say to him that he knows we are friends? How do we?
If he sees we're with the military, he will know that we are allied to him.
Oh, we're supposed to keep our military identity.
Yes. Well, so if you find him, you can show him your robes, but do not turn your robes on until then, and only do it in private.
Shirts.
Well, won't have to worry about that because mine are with the cart.
I do not have them, so it looks like this is on Raw.
So it looks like the two of you will be together with Ra. How does that sound, ladies and gentlemen?
I'll do what I need to try to find him. I'll try to use my resources, what little I do have in this town.
To be clear, Cassius, it sounds like you're doing this solo. You're sticking with us, right?
I will do what I need to do to try to find him, and I will let people know what I find.
You
I'm
guys
not
can
trying
try
to
and
hide
work.
information, but I'm not going to be traipsing around town with you because you will make me look like I am very clearly in league with some kind of military, be it city military or country military. And I will obviously stand out if you try to go into the richer part of town, and you will obviously look like you're doing something you shouldn't be doing.
I mean, servants were not dressed very nicely when we went through that area.
You think that they're going to take kindly to me over there? And you think that the people on the lower end of the pay grade in this town are going to want to talk to me if he's around me?
I assume all of them hire personal bodyguards. Why could you not
The
just be his
peasants?
bodyguard?
The peasants do?
Erebos does not look like a peasant, Cassius.
No, he doesn't. That's the thing.
Yes. So if Erebos is going into inner town, it would be likely he has some sorts of protection,
Hmm.
which, I don't know, could be you and Ra.
Could be Ra.
I think you need to speak slower, Maladrona, because he doesn't
Ra-
get it.
Ra is not from the towns, Cassius. I need your skill set on this. You know the ways to meet people and to do things discreetly. Me and Ra don't do discreet. That is why I
If
need you on this.
If I try to do that and try to educate him on how to do that, he will not listen to me, berate me, and then continue to push away any leads that we probably have because he's very brass and doesn't know how to talk to people.
Erebos, are you going to berate Cassius if he gives you insights on how to get information?
I wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, so you're going to change your entire persona now? All of a sudden? I didn't know you were going to do that. I appreciate that, though.
Cassius
Erebos is on a very short leash right now, Cassius. He has a bone to prove to all of us. I
He's got more
expect
than
he can
one.
bring his best foot forward on this topic. If he acts out of line, you can report that to me afterwards. But for the time being, I need the two of you to actually work together on a task just once. It's almost as if the stability of this entire country relies on the two of you to set aside your differences for the briefest of moments and work together.
To go into the richest part of town and...
You can
Stand
try
it.
whatever it is, Cassius. You are better at these things than I am. But I think in the end, you will probably end up needing Erebos' skill sets. You will not be permitted in the inside of town without him, nor can you go invisible like he can.
You think that I'm... Wait, is this some sort of reconnaissance mission? Am I going to need to turn invisible and steal stuff?
You may need to
Oh
get...
my god.
Oh. How did you function as a thief, Cassius?
Well,
Some-
no, I'm asking because you said I might need a skill set, so I might need those skills. You're right.
I'm saying that the information that you might need to collect will not be simple to acquire. It's not going to be you walk in and scream the name of this man that we're trying to not draw the attention of.
Well,
Ra
Also,
has
I
heard
have
of
no-
a spell that makes party members like each other, and she's really tempted in researching it more.
well, it also, I don't know if it's dawned on anybody else, but we're of reasonable renown in this country, correct?
No. Cassius,
No,
you
we're
think we've
not?
killed some lions and some things in the east that suddenly anyone west of the mountains gives a shit about us?
They
I
may
think
know
that-
my name.
I don't even
They
know
might
if
know
anyone
the
knows who a
salamander
salamander is. But perhaps
Oh.
don't mention that name. Perhaps
Oh, yes.
adapt an alias. It wouldn't be very hard to do.
But
Of course.
us traveling together, if people have heard of us, they'd be pretty easy for anybody that's on the lookout for us to be able to pinpoint who we are.
We can sit around and talk about ifs and ifs this and if that. We need to operate on what we know. Right now, we don't think anyone knows who we are. So let's.
I will offer any information that I find. I have no problem doing that.
Oh my god.
The two of you, please, Cassius. You can work on whatever, work independently, but you know what? I'm going to make an executive call on this. Ra, you're taking lead. Erebos and Cassius, you are reporting to Ra until the two of you can amend your differences. I can't even... I've never had an issue with you, Cassius, with orders, but you're being very, very apt here. So Ra...
Yeah, I mean, I would love to bring up issues that I have with him, but when I do try to bring up those issues, everybody just doesn't seem to care. So,
I understand your issues, Cassius. I share them. He has
yes,
wronged
they are
us,
just my issues.
but he is working to improve them. And if we do not give him the opportunity, then we will never know if he has.
Isn't that what he said last time?
My orders are clear. Ra, you are to guide Cassius and Erebos into finding this Clemens Andreasen. Zeke and Sphinx, I have had enough of this. We are to go to the central leadership and present this treaty. Are there any further questions?
Not questions, but request. Sphinx, may I exchange your detection ring for one of mine for this mission so that we may remain undetected? As you guys are presenting yourselves, you don't need to worry about being scryed upon, but we may have worries of it. I can loan you my ring of protection and while we hang on to this ring.
Yours isn't yours isn't a Rackless item, right? This was something you bought.
Ring, I started the game with it. A +1 ring.
But Sphinx's ring is from a Rackless.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
So if anyone else takes it, a Rackless might zap it.
Oh, I didn't know it was a Rackless item. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, my lenses were an Oraclus item, and we know that Zeke was able to use them for a little bit, and they.
But that was because we were inside the Kosh
like
Reach, and communication was
true.
impossible.
Yeah, that is true.
It was actually something you had discussed when you entered the Kosh Reach, is that like it's unlikely he's going to zap it while you're here because he can't even see you.
Well, there is a spell. Perhaps I can purchase it before we begin this mission. It's within my power to cast. I don't know if it's available in this town.
I lend you full discretion. Until you guys find anything, us two separate groups should not interact in any way. So once you guys do find something or we find something, I suppose just seek out my forge. And if on the forge stand there is a sword, then we have found something. And likewise, if you guys find something, put a dagger onto my forge in the night.
That's a little non-discreet. Can you put your arcane mark on it so we can detect magic and see it?
Sure. But for the time being, then, the three of us do not know you three, and the three of you do not know us. Is that clear?
Who are you again?
Who are you?
I don't know.
Perfect. And I leave with Zeke and Sphinx.
All right.
Yep, I'll follow.
So, the next question I have then is let's focus here on Ra, Aravos, and Cassius.
Where should I meet up with you guys?
Oh my god.
You're staying with us. He was pretty clear what he wants us to do. I'm pretty sure you can work with Aravos for a flipping day or two, okay?
Also, wouldn't it be easier for us to split up and search different places for information?
No.
He's not going to do any good in the slums. And I'm not going to be of much help in the rich district.
We can change
Okay, well, if
clothes
he's
and
not going to do
adapt.
any good in the slums, he can be invisible. Problem solved. I doubt anyone in the slums is going to see invisibility. And
My
then
spell
when we
doesn't
go
last that
into-
long.
Wow. It'll last
I have no
bit.
problem working with the group. I don't know if it necessarily behooves us to all travel to the one place and try to gather information collectively.
Mal is
I-
making
I-
a point that we don't we don't possess the skills of finding out the information that you possess. So splitting up might not be the best route, because if we do find someone who might know something, I might not have the skills to get that information out of the person.
I understand that, but I also don't think anybody up there is going to listen to anything that I have to say. You saw how they treated us when we came into town, right?
They will if I'm with you. I'll say you're my guide to help me through the city, and you can speak on my behalf. We can make it work. Can you just cooperate for one day?
Let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, then we can try splitting up.
But also, I suggest that we procure a spell that I can use to protect us from spying eyes, especially if we find this person. We don't want anyone watching.
All right.
So
Let's
maybe
go get your spell.
Maybe you can let Cassius do his little reconnaissance, what he can, alone, while we find this spell, and then we'll meet up in a few hours and see if you're able to uncover anything by yourself. Does this sound agreeable, Cassius?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Where are we meeting up, by the way?
Meet back at the inn.
We'll meet at the
Well,
one
the inn.
gold inn.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
My shitty inn.
So, the two of you can head over to some nearby spell casting supply stores. They do have scrolls. You can find Arvos from your wandering about. You know that scroll prices are pretty standard here. There is no 10% discount here, though. Everything is retail. But you can find basically any scroll you're looking for. That's
Detect
under
scrying.
5th level. So
Level 4 detect scrying.
okay. You can acquire it for... I never remember what scroll prices are past 3rd level.
700 gold if there's no discount.
That sounds right.
Jesus, is Mel compensating me for this?
And it will be at minimum caster level, so that will be 7.
Bro, how much gold do you have?
You seriously don't have enough gold?
I
How
have
much do you need?
300 platinum.
You have more than I do. What are you asking for money for?
That's also more than 700
That's
gold.
That's 3,000 gold.
My conversions are always off. This
Oh my god!
I'm like,
Why does nobody remember? It's just the metric system. This is why. Wait, you're Canadian. You should understand the metric system better than we do.
Wait a minute. What do you mean nobody?
I mean, I fully understand.
I think that this is just a John thing.
Wow, I forgot a 0, guys. Fucking relax. It's a long day.
Maybe the system would make more sense, John, if the units were in logical units for what a typical person experiences. So let me introduce you to American currency and
Freedom units!
freedom units.
We should be
Hell
using the
yeah.
copper system. It's much more...
Oh my god, no, I hate listening to that. Oh, that's like 42 million copper. It's like, hold on, let me bust off the 2 zeros from the end of this so I can figure this out.
I say we just use the mine dollar system instead.
There you go. The mine dollar system is so
are
much
they able
better.
to convert my platinum? Because obviously it's weird rounding, so can I convert it to gold and then
You
just
give them
pay
70 platinum.
You don't have to do any conversion.
No, but I need gold. I don't have any gold.
Sure.
I need-
You can ask them to change as an added benefit to you. They'll give you a little bit of gold. They'll give you up to 50 gold converted. So they'll take 5 of your platinum and give you 50 gold.
Thank you.
But you still lose 70 platinum.
Yes.
Okay.
I took it off.
Also, with all his confusion over the money, they take advantage as they are quick change art.
Arvos, you've converted all 700 of your platinum into copper pieces. Nice 700 copper pieces. There you go.
Thank you. The most valuable currency. Do you want me to roll my chance to learn spell off the scroll, or
You're going to try to learn it? You're not going to use it today?
When I try to learn it, do I cast it or no?
No, you are basically taking it, sitting down with your spellbook, and copying the information in there. You have to sort of cast it, but you're not really casting it.
Okay, I thought I could try to learn it when I cast it. If not,
no,
then I'll
as
save
part
it.
of the. Oh, where the fuck is it? Is it not under here? Thought it would be under the scroll section, but it is not. Maybe it is. Hold on. No, it is. There's deciphering the writing. This is so annoying. This is all part of activation. Copying into your spellbook though is not quite the same thing as casting it. Otherwise, if you wanted to cast Fireball, if you wanted to like scribe Fireball into your spellbook from a scroll, you would basically have to blow yourself or something else up.
So yeah, as I'm just wondering if I try to learn off a scroll, I waste the scroll, but the spell wasn't cast.
You waste the scroll. You're basic. It's basically a way to get the information from the scroll into your book.
Okay, I'll just hang on to the scroll then.
Okay. All right. So the three of you that headed towards the inner sanctum. You will reach the portcullis, and the guards there will look at the three of you. Yeah, what can we do for you? You lost?
We're here to deliver a message. A treaty.
You don't look like messengers. I mean, you're pretty heavily dressed for it, and that one looks like she's going to a costume party after this.
We are soldiers. This is a treaty on behalf of the military.
The military, you say?
Yes.
One moment. He just stands there silently.
Stand there silently too.
There are about, 12 guards that start walking up from various angles around the street. People from around the side of the walls, a few from up the street, a couple come out of the alleyway and start moving towards you. Well,
Sense motive?
yeah. Your escort is here. You'll be seen in. I do hope you enjoy your stay in our dungeons. And they step aside, and the portcullis opens. Don't worry, you'll get to meet with whomever it is you're here to drop off the treaty for. This is standard policy, you see. We have to make sure that you're not going to pose a threat to the town if you don't like the outcome of the treaty.
Seems reasonable. Sure. I will not resist.
Okay.
I'm used to it. I'm used to it at this point.
Is it like a double negative if you get become a prisoner twice? You just become free at that point?
Three times.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they
If you're a
cancel each other
triple
out for
prisoner, you're actually no longer imprisoned.
No. There's a name.
Nice.
I think it's called like pulling a Gulron or something like that.
This is how Zeke assumes every town welcomes people. Is like, yeah, here, come stay in our dungeons for a couple
He was
days.
jealous of Gulron's ability to become incarcerated.
So the three of you are led straight up the street with your little entourage of guards. As you get to the far end, you'll notice that part of the glimmer that you see from the tower is not just the tower itself, but there is a massive wall of what looks like force energy that wraps around the tower about 100 feet away from where the entrance to the tower lies. As you reach the wall, you can see that there are guards that walk about it, but they are somewhat translucent themselves as they walk the walls, and they look down as the 15 of you arrive at the gate. These are military. They claim to have a treaty to exchange. We're escorting them to the dungeons until we can set up their meeting. The gate slowly starts to open, and standing on the other side is a man wearing a suit of armor that looks as if it is made out of the same material that the wall of force that is in front of you is. And this is the first time you'll notice that this wall of force is not itself fully translucent or transparent. It instead does have some sort of filtering property that stops you from seeing what lies directly on the other side, unless it's like the ground or the tower. And he steps forward, and he gestures out to each of the three of you, and I will need a will save from each of you.
I'll make my reroll.
Okay.
I think I'll keep mine.
Okay.
I guess I actually know if it fails or not.
Okay. So you will notice, like, as Sphinx and Zeke, you feel like your body like putting in a lot of resistance to whatever is happening, but you also like watch as his arm starts to glow a very bright blue color. And as it does so, you feel like a squeeze on your mind. And Mal, it's a very tight squeeze for you. It's a bit looser a squeeze for Cassia or for Zeke and Sphinx. But this is causing you pain without causing you pain. You are taking damageless damage in your head. It's like having sort of a throbbing headache, but not the kind of headache where not enough of a headache that you can't see or you can't like be focused enough, but that headache from like when you've been staring at a screen for far too long and you just can't get your eyes or your head to kind of like adapt back to normality. And you also feel like he's going to give you directions, and as long as you follow them, nothing worse will happen to you.
So, so it kind of feels like I'm partially. I'm not gonna reroll because I actually want him to get some gleam of information, but it feels like I'm sort of resisting. So at least the information I'm trying to guide him towards is everything revolving around this contract.
He's not looking into your brain.
Okay.
He has put you in a sort of like mental semi-stasis. The goal of this is it inhibits your ability to cast spells, and it tones down any other implicit supernatural or spell-like abilities you might have.
Okay, that's fine. I won't resist further then.
Yeah, and then it of course makes you complacent to what it is he asks you to do. The degree by which you fail increases the degree by which you're inhibited. So, the three of you can follow him in. He will lead you down into the dungeon. The dungeon doors will open for each of you as he brings you to each of your individual cells. And they will close behind you as you step in. I bet most of you are probably expecting this to be a long endeavor. I assure you we don't waste our time with these things. You should be in and out of here in no more than a few hours. Is that acceptable to the three of you? If not, we'll just simply send you on your way now.
I'm prepared to spend as much time here as possible. I have nice lodging.
It is actually better than you might expect. We take reasonable care of our prisoners here. Well, we're here. Perhaps we can get to know each other a little better. You seem different than their usual envoys. A bit more gruff. Normally we just simply get messenger types, scout types. Very scraggly, very quick, in and out. It's weird that they're sending someone who looks like they could probably hold their own. I could feel the resistance between your comrades. So tell me, how much have you done for the military? What have they convinced you?
The military is just an ends to a means for me, sir. I come from a misrepresented percentage of the population. I believe that if I do well, that my people will have a place.
But you believe somehow, well, how will the military achieve this? By force? By might? By oppression? By authoritarian regime rulership? There are others that seek union, true union between all of the people of this country. You do know this, right?
Yes, but my people, many are not like me. Many are very stubborn. Many wish to stay where they stay. They view our home as their home, and that is their only true home. To even leave that is a massive suggestion to them.
But my apologies. Go ahead.
So the military could offer them a home at their home, and they could also offer them an actual job, a role in society, not just as outcasts. For many generations, the orcs have always been viewed as violent and irrational individuals, but we are more than that.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. You seem a man who believes in the value of knowledge. Is this true?
Quite.
So, do you understand that the power that knowledge brings to people in being able to learn and understand the world around them? They grow, prosper, and thrive? Is this something you also believe to be true?
I do. I just believe also that due to limitations on society, that not all individuals have access to that. I'm a very learned of half-orcs, but most of my kind are not academics, obviously.
But what if there were those who seek to spread knowledge, those who believed that by bringing everyone together, you can share understanding and information, you can progress by progressing?
I believe that is the benefits of all that is unity. So long as no one takes advantage of the new power structure, then unity is purely a good thing.
I believe that it may be in your best interest to rethink your alliances. You and your family, as you put it, might be better suited with a family that's more welcoming and one that does not make you prove yourself in order to gain value. Now, I know that as you look in this town, perhaps you might think that we are not working towards progress. You might think that it looks as if the wealthy are so much further ahead of all of those on the outskirts. But that is a thing of the old world. Stubbornness sometimes is hard to draw out of people. We have brought many more people to a greater understanding. Once upon a time, the outer rung, the farmland on the outskirts, was much wider, much more of a mess. Under the Alliance's lead, we have brought many more into the outer sanctum, and we have worked slowly to raise the quality of life for those in the outer sanctum. The trouble is, you have to keep the aristocracy happy in order to make sure that they're willing to contribute to educational policies, towards quality of life improvements for all people, towards making sure that no one starves anymore. If you were astute in your perception while you were out there, you would notice the occasional druid roaming about the farms, giving a little blessing here and there to the land, making sure that the crops are a little more fruitful. We've learned that it's best to work with the forest, not against it.
Yes, I too have worked with, I mean, kind of like, it's like, figuratively I've worked with the forest, not literally, that would be absurd. But working with the forest is certainly a thing I can get behind.
You think that working with the forest literally would be absurd? Have you never met the Ents?
Well, I just didn't think it was a canon concept, but apparently it's it's not as absurd as I thought.
Oh no, the southernmost woods are full of treants. All of them trying to regrow what once were the marshes to the west, to the southwest.
Yes, well, I was almost thinking the things that grow treants, but it's minutia. It's like, you know.
Perhaps.
So, you say that this has gone on for quite some time, but I'm from the east. Not much comes past the mountains.
This is true. The only pathway through happens to lead you past some of the most dangerous things that we still have yet to find allies in. The military has done well to keep the ogres and the giants and the cyclopses warring with each other and warring with the lower landers. A battle that I feel will likely never end so long as the military has its way. Old world values, you know.
Yes, I should like to think that fighting is not the way. It's not usually my way, but I understand that not all share my views.
This is why we continue to accept the treaties of yours, but we've had to be somewhat careful, unfortunately, as of late. Some of you come in here and try to start quite an uprise. Many agitating the people within the city and claiming that we're not willing to work with you. When you read some of these treaties, you'd see that they're quite imbalanced by deliberate design. Sometimes they ask to split the continent into two, declaring that everything to the east of the mountains should be theirs, and everything to the west of the mountains should be ours. But Krzyzin disagrees with this. Krzyzin sees what we bring to the table. They want to be a part of this alliance. They wish to be, but they are denied it. But the rest of the towns of the east, they side with the military. They believe the alliance is weak, that we are simply scholars and nobility that want to make a world that is unattainable, a world that cannot exist without violence. We see it as a world that can exist without what is unnecessary.
I think if you disavow all unity, then you have chaos and war and people just trying to take from others that are weaker than them, and it is an infinite battle. I think there has to be some in between. But that is not for me to say. I'm just here to bring a message.
Indeed. Well, it is about time, so I will guide you on your way. And your cell's open. Please follow me. All right. Cassius, where do you want to go to try to find this information?
Well, I figured I've already figured out after the first night. I've already figured out that not anybody there, at least that night, had anything of substantial value to look into. Maybe I'll try one of the. Are there other bars in town?
Oh yeah, there's lots. You just hit up a few of them. You only had so much time in the evening.
Yeah. I didn't know if there were like other places I could try. Well, actually, a bar in the morning probably wouldn't be the best place to go, but I don't really know if I know too much about how the structure of this town works. I don't know if I know my way around here that well. I guess I'll try to go. What's this here? I guess I'll go somewhere closer to the middle of the town.
Okay.
Not necessarily in the upper district, but somewhere closer to that area.
Okay.
Because we're near the outskirts, right?
No, I mean, the one gold piece thing is to the east and the west, so it's on the wider angle. I'm I'm actually just gonna bring bring everybody over back to the like sort of generic city map thing.
Yeah, I assumed
So,
it was like something.
You guys are
around,
like over there,
here.
yeah.
Okay.
But this is the entrance is down here,
Yeah.
and then this is the entrance to the inner rung, and then here is where the tower resides.
I guess I'd go somewhere closer towards the entrance of the inner rung,
Okay.
because maybe in that area there would be information passing back and forth. Hopefully.
Sure. Give me a perception.
And while I'm there, I will be passively like trying to work on figuring out stuff with my gun, so it doesn't look like I'm just sitting there.
Okay. So you are cleaning your weapon for a while. Listening to what's going on. And let me see if he does. Somebody takes a seat at the table across from you. Keeping your eyes on a lot of stuff around here, you know? Kind of interesting. You got something maybe you're looking for? Maybe I'm not seeing it?
I'm just new in town. I was hoping that maybe I could find something worthwhile to get into.
Somebody with eyes like yours is probably not looking for something necessarily to get into, but unless what they're looking to get into is trouble. Is that what you're here looking to get into?
I've seen my fair share of that.
You look like the kind who has.
Yeah. Not the kind of person that they would, look highly on up in the inner circle area.
Neither of us are. I feel that's like pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So, I know a thing about the people around here, and I know enough to know that you're new and you've been here for a little under a day. But you got your eyes wide and you've hit up a number of places in the last few hours.
Looks like I'm not the only one who has got their eyes wide. I admire that.
I
Done a
keep
good job.
tabs on what goes through here.
Probably for the best.
Especially something brandishing something as fancy as what you're carrying.
Oh, this old thing.
I need you to understand. I know that you're looking for something. I just don't know what it is. We can either work together and find it, or I can make it so that you can't find it.
Huh.
Maybe
Oh,
all the
that's-
resources in town dry up. Every lead you look for isn't available anymore.
Well, then.
You should know there's always one of us here.
I'm assuming that,
Give me a sense motive.
yeah.
That's actually pretty good. So you're distinctively getting the impression you've heard rumors that the society exists in other cities. That this isn't just local to Kruzaizen. And that seems what he might be implying.
I thought that I had. Getting halfway across the country, I thought I had gotten away from that.
You're never really away. Not a picture like you. Not after what you did. But we know that your debts were paid. We know you're a man who doesn't leave his debts hanging for longer than I feel like is probably reasonable given your circumstances. I'm not here to interfere unless I have to. I'm just looking to know. You looking for someone or something?
I mean, I could tell you that I'm looking for someone, but something tells me that you already know that.
What if someone's also looking for someone? You think knowing that might be of interest to you?
Depends on the cost of the information.
Well, first you're gonna have to see if I like the cut of your jib with a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy. Oh, cool. I've got a +9. Something, well, like, what, a 7?
Nice.
Oh, surprise. There's a double digit in there.
Some people do an okay job keeping secrets, but sometimes their staff don't do as good a job, you know? And all you're left with is keeping your secrets locked up tight and hoping nobody comes to take them. You might look towards opportunities that, well, they might make you safe and secure. They might make the time you have to stay safe and secure very limited by expense. You know how much it costs to keep a secret for a while?
That depends on the secret, I suppose.
Indeed it does.
Just out of curiosity, you're not one of those people that likes taking secrets, are you?
No. I'm the type that just wants to make sure we're not going to be making some trouble for us. And it sounds like you're not here to make any trouble for us. It sounds like, in a way, you might solve some problems for us. You get a couple of people off our back, if we just point you in the right direction, might be able to work something out.
Pardon me if I'm not too enthusiastic about that.
If there are people looking for somebody very specific, their attention's going to be looking a different way. If you draw those people away for a while, maybe we know who they are, and maybe it gives us an opportunity to get something we've been looking after for a little while.
Why do I have a feeling that what you're looking for is far more dangerous than what I'm looking for?
I think that ultimately what you're looking for, if the word on the street is right, is inevitably a lot more valuable than what we're looking for. What we're looking for is basically a finder's fee by comparison to what you're looking for.
I'm guessing you wouldn't be willing to let me know what you're looking for, huh?
Just like you wouldn't let me know what you're looking for, now would you?
Nah, but I don't think that I need to tell you for you to already know that.
Well, I don't know exactly what the thing is, but perhaps I know the person. Perhaps I know relatively where that person is. Perhaps I know who they've got on watch for him.
Now, this isn't one of them situations like last time, where if I say the wrong thing to the people I'm with, that you're gonna come hunting me, is it?
You need to make sure that the public is at limited understanding of this. You need to make sure that your friends are at limited understanding of this, but you have to let people know something, don't you?
Yeah, but it don't feel right keeping information from them.
As long as they don't know we're here, we're fine.
Hey, just out of curiosity, is the word on the street only with the circles you're running with?
So far, we saw a bit of movement that was unusual and followed it. Figured some tracing back and forth might be useful. Found what we were looking for. It's given us a bit of opportunity, but we really need their proximity to be further away. They're quite adept at what they do, and if they're not here, they can't do it. They're the only ones who can tail us. You can take them out of the town. Because they're the only ones who can tail you without you knowing they're tailing you.
Do I have any idea of the people that would be able to tail that organization?
They'd have to be incredibly skilled.
Oh, so it wouldn't be like another group. It would be like individuals.
Potentially
As far as I
individuals,
would know.
maybe there's some kind of group, but this you could give me a knowledge history on, if you have any ranks.
I don't even have it as a class skill, so...
No problem. So yeah, this is not the kind of thing. Actually, you can give me a survival. I'll allow you here as well.
Oh, okay. I have some...
Yeah, so thinking about it, you know it's pretty common for cities to employ sort of like outsourcing their work to people. So they might employ like a small group or battalion to do a very specific job. And so he's probably referring to some kind of like specific squad that probably normally watches over their crew. But since this is potentially a higher value target, maybe they've sort of turned their eyes for a little bit. They're of course ready if their crew does something, but they're still in town. Hard to get
the town's probably got some hired eyes on them.
Mm-hmm. It's what you can assume from what he's saying and from what you know about like other bigger jobs like this.
Yeah, because from my understanding is that group is kind of the big group in Krzyzin that does all the shady shit. I didn't know if there was any other rival groups like that, but I guess that would be even less common knowledge. So
yeah,
okay.
But no, yeah, in this case, probably not a rival group. Probably like agents of the government itself.
All right. Well, man, you've already got eyes on me, so guess I don't really need to report back and let you know where I land on the situation, huh?
Just look for one of my agents in the inners, and you'll find the rest of the way.
There, anything that I could look for in particular that would make you guys stand out?
You know what makes us stand out. The fact that we're only there for as long as we're supposed to be. And he gets up from his chair, and he takes a few steps back, and just kind of...
He's not willing to give up all of his information for nothing?
Nope. Oh, there's a lot he can get out of this.
Yeah, spoil sport.
Alright, so you can meet back up with Aravos and Ra, if that is your plan.
Yeah, I'll, first thing I'll do is, see if they found anything, and then I will mention that something found me.
Well, we found the spell we went to go find, but why don't you tell us more about what found you?
Same people that found me in Krzyzin. Not too thrilled about it. Didn't know that they reached all the way out here. I don't know if anybody else is hearing that.
Yeah,
but
there's like a bong noise.
yeah, I'm like, that's not uncommon. I don't know. Yeah, but like that's probably just
The chupacabra, it's fine.
Just
yeah.
Godzilla having sex outside his house.
I think that would be less threatening than anything else that's going on around here. Yeah, that group in Krzyzin, the real shady one, was standing around. I'll name whatever place I was standing around and, cleaning my gun, doing some maintenance, looking over some things, and one of them approached me. Said that they asked me if I was looking for someone or something, and said they might be willing to help. I'm a little weary about what assistance they can offer, because of obvious reasons. But they said if we keep a certain group or certain people busy, then maybe they'd have more information for us. So
We were told whatever this man has found is highly secretive. I don't think. Can you trust this group to keep it to themselves if we find him?
probably, but I can't trust that what they're after or what their plans are bigger than this. Definitely evil, nefarious stuff going on. I mean, it's the same group from Krzyzin. You know about them, right?
Yes, I don't think we should use them unless it's the last resort.
Yeah, I not thrilled about it, but it is an option.
Brilliant. So you've accomplished nothing. All right, I have a brilliant plan that we can institute in the inner sanctum. You
And
two
that
are
is-
Oh,
you two are my bodyguard servants, and I'm a tourist, quite wealthy, looking to explore the northern mountains and looking for an experienced man. And I'll throw that name around. It won't be obvious or anything, and see if people can direct me to him.
sounds like nothing could possibly go wrong.
What could go wrong? I'm asking around someone who I heard is familiar with the mountains, and I want to go there. Do you have any better ideas?
Like I said, I'm not very familiar with them rich types
Yes, maybe you can take some notes.
All right.
on how to ruin diplomacy.
Well, the three of you figure that out. The other three of you are led into the tower, up several flights of stairs, and into a room, very plain. It looks almost like a courtroom. There are chairs that are spread out for people to sit in, but there is only one podium in the center. You may proceed. They will see you. One single person sits on the opposite end of the podium at a large, it's almost throne-like in its design, but looks more like a, what do you call the judge's stand?
Bench or
Sure, we'll call it the bench. I don't... I'm sorry. I should describe him a bit. This is a somewhat older-looking half-orc man. His hair is very, very thin and like not particularly long anymore, but looks like at one time it probably was. Like bits of like hair kind of still fall a little ways down, but the rest of it is much shorter than it was than the rest of some of the strands. His skin is a very soft greenish complexion with blue eyes, but a bit extra point to his ears. And he looks at the three of you. I am the High Adjudicator here. I am to understand that the three of you have brought before me a treaty on behalf of the military. Is this true?
This is correct, sir.
And you are?
My name is Meldronicus. Pleasure to meet another ranking fellow of our types. I was told that they are more integrated here. I was very fortunate to see that is true.
People are people. People should be treated like people.
It is the simplest of sentiments that is somehow so hard to integrate, but nonetheless, this is my comrades. This is Zeke, and this is Sphinxara. They are part of my escort here, And we mean no harm, and we just simply mean to deliver this treaty.
Please place it on the podium before you.
Yeah. I take out the treaty, and I don't know if I guess I
He'll
fan it
instruct you
out.
to unroll it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Roll it
as you do so, he'll like look down at his own like desk before him. I hate when they use the old scripts. You speak Ancient Common, correct?
Yeah, everything but ancient Draconic.
Okay. No, that's good. This is written actually in Ancient Common.
I don't think I've actually read it. I don't know if I was under orders not to.
It's literally like unrolled in front of you.
Okay. Yeah, I probably couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
I guess.
The treaty discusses terms for a like mutual agreement over spaces. In this particular case, I'm going to bring you back to the world map for a moment, the country map for a moment. This actually talks about the idea of doing a bit of carving in exchange for the territories of Stevelo and Chrysaisen. It is known that the northwestern city of Ancora is not happy with the current standings of the alliance, and they would like to sort of devise a situation a bit like this. I'll give you just a quick example of their territorial claim that they are requesting. That is their proposed claim.
I think you did it
Was
the wrong
something
way.
supposed to change? Yeah.
That should be on... Oh, I have to push escape so you can see it. Now it should be there?
Yep.
Okay.
This is what Ancora wants.
This is what the military wants. And it says that like Ancora is more in line with the military.
Okay.
This is more reasonable, what I've seen from them.
If I'm being honest with you, so if what I understand is correct, you don't want Chrysaisen anyways. It's a fucking bunch of pretentious dicks that have... Sorry, excuse my language. A bunch of unreasonable, self-entitled assholes. Sorry, I don't have a nice way to describe Chrysaisen, sir.
Listen to me, Mr. Maldronicus. These are rough negotiations that go on. We do have an interest in bringing Chrysaisen into our fold, which is why, as you can see, the line is drawn into us. We believe that the knowledge that is being spread in Chrysaisen is being tainted. It is being tainted by one whose interests are carnal and self-indulgent in nature, and that she is poisoning the city of Chrysaisen in the believed infrastructure changes going on within the clergy of Sishat. That at least reside within Chrysaisen. We believe that with our system in place, we can create change in Chrysaisen for the better of all of us and all of them.
Yes, there desperately needs new guidance there. They seem to not want the help of the military. Perhaps they would accept your help.
We feel they will. They seem interested in being able to interact much greater with us. but there still remains the issue of the mountains. Even drawing these out, this does not give us a great way to travel from one point to another. Dragon's Cove has presently been controlling the Gulf pretty heavily. Their navy does not wish to allow anyone passage over the sea.
Someone that has personally traveled close to the mountains, sir, there's really not much you could ever do with that. It will probably have to be accomplished with extra magical means.
Well,
the mountains are exceptionally dangerous.
This proposes a bit of a problem. The lines are not as strong between here and there without passing through Akunsant. We've found that something around Akunsant impedes our ability to send messages properly to Krzyzin. It also seems to have a strange effect on teleportation, as if something was creating a barrier itself between us and any path to Krzyzin, whether magical or physical.
Is this not something that you have talked with the people of Akunsant about?
You cannot talk to anyone from Akunsant. They will hear no words from us. The same with Dragon's Cove. They want full autonomy. They want to be treated as independent countries. And yet, they control one of the largest focal points and center points for the current widest of the lines that cross through the land. No arcane energy worth its salt getting between here and Krzyzin doesn't cross through Akunsant. The God War did a lot of terrible things, and this happens to be a side effect of one of them. The Prime, in his selfish bid for control, made sure his little pet project has strong ties to keep things separated between us.
Might I make a recommendation, sir? It seems that the military doesn't even have an interest in Akunsant. It would be, as under this agreement, under the alliance. Perhaps if they want autonomy, you could offer it to them, and they may in turn let you communicate with Krzyzin, which seems to be the central goal, yes?
Well, this is what scares me here. You'll notice the line is actually drawn, and they did not draw a line around Akunsant to demonstrate Akunsant's autonomy.
It is then your choice what you do with Akunsant, yes?
Perhaps.
You could offer to them an autonomy. But this seems to suggest that the military wants nothing to do with them. Or Krzyzin.
Inform the military that we grow closer to an agreement that is acceptable. We will think on our terms. I will give you some more details in a few days. And these details you should take back to your leadership, and this will hopefully get us closer to a much more fair arrangement. But make sure that, above all else, they know that splitting the country is not our prime goal. And while we will agree to these terms, we will want renegotiations continually to make sure that we are showing what good we have done for the country.
I shall certainly take notes of your words, sir. My party has arranged for stay for the month. We shall give you time to deliberate whatever it is that required. And once you have reached your decisions, we shall deliver your message.
Excellent. I recognize that you seem different from the others that have been here. I will not keep you in the dungeons as I would others. You are free to continue our time in the country until in the city until we make our decisions.
Would be much appreciated, sir. The military life is busy. I have not had much time to perfect my trade. Sometimes a man just wants some time to himself.
Where are you staying?
You can probably tell, sir, that I am not from the upper class. I am in the outer districts. It is where I am most comfortable.
But where? If I need to send agents to find you, where will they find you?
The forge I have rented provides an inn. Do I have a name for that?
Yeah, you can hand it over.
Yeah. I just give them whatever name for my forge and the housing they provided me.
Very well. I will send agents when we have had time to discuss this matter. And we will hopefully have an answer for you as to our counteroffer or other points that we may wish to discuss.
I look forward to it, sir. This has been quite pleasant. I feel I do not get many pleasant interactions in the East. Perhaps you are more reasonable out here.
We'd like to believe that we are. We'd like to hope that perhaps one of you that comes back will see it that way.
Any additional insights, Zeke, Sphinx? Or these ones are not very talkative. They mind their own, but I assure you, their hearts are in good places.
Well, be on your way then.
Alright, so I got a question. Real quick. So like, is this like a map he had out on his desk that he was drawing on? Or was it just in words on the thing so I wouldn't know about it?
It is in words in the way that they put it. They've like drawn specific lines of distance between things. But it is all in ancient common.
So yeah, that's what I want to know, is if I would know these places that I hadn't heard of before, like Dragon's Cove and all that, or not. And I do not.
Yeah, they did mention Dragon's Cove and Aquansant, so you at least heard both the names,
but I would have no idea where they are located.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you've seen my maps.
Are they on your maps?
I bought a bunch of maps.
He has a map of the country.
If you ask about this, Zeke, I would pull out the map that Cassius gave me as a gift, and I would just show you essentially the.
I would ask about it later. Like I wouldn't in the middle of the place have you do that. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, Aravos, Ra, and Cassius, you head to the inner district unless somebody's come up with another plan. All right. Aravos, you are allowed inside. Have a good day, sir.
These are my servants.
Yes. You have. I see you have your guards with you. You're fine, sir. Have a wonderful day.
I'm new here. Can you point me to where I would go to inquire about tourism, seeing the sights? Anyone know about this stuff?
What sites would you like to see, sir?
Heard a lot about the mountains to the north. Is there someone who's knowledgeable about the...
You would not want to travel to the mountains of the north, sir. It is
that?
Quite a dangerous endeavor.
Oh, I'm an adrenaline junkie, you see. You see, I'm an elf. We live long lives. Danger is something we strive for.
But in the heights of the mountains, there are powerful giants that would fell you with a single swing of their axe. And inside of the mountains, there are terrible, twisted creatures that exist in anywhere that isn't just the mines. I would dare not travel there.
That's what I pay these oafs for. They'll earn their keep.
Yeah, there might be a strong wind that'll knock you over.
Mind your tongue. You're in my employ, remember, sir.
Shall I jail him, sir?
No. I like his snarky attitude. It keeps me on my toes. So yes, is there anywhere I can find more information about this and see if these two whippersnappers can protect me in these touristic endeavors?
Somebody inside will probably be able to set you up with something. Very strange request, but...
I'm a little I come from a lot of wealth, It's hard to get those kicks when you...
Most try a brothel and, well, there's a lot of cleanup that sometimes happens afterwards, but...
Can I use my, nobility to know, what would be a good tip for this man?
It is normally not the type of thing to tip a...
Okay.
To tip a guard or somebody like that. That can be easily perceived as a bribe.
Okay. Is there just a bow or a thank you or whatever?
Yeah. You can offer him thanks.
Yeah, I offer him my thanks. And I'll
knowledge and ability to know the appropriate bribe amount instead.
No. I'll head to wherever he indicated where I would find this information.
No, he just said he doesn't know.
Oh.
Inside you'll probably find somebody, but...
Okay. So yeah, I'll start just going around until I see where people are, a main marketplace or main hub of a lot of people just talking and stuff like that.
Yeah, why don't you give me a perception?
Sure.
So tempted to just start calling him Mr. Salamander in front of everybody.
Yeah, so Aravos, you're not having a great time trying to find some sort of, mountain tourism place. Right, you realize that a mountain tourism place doesn't really, exist.
Well, I specifically asked for a group of congregating people to get information from, not a
There is no
tourism
group.
place.
You're... Okay.
There's no marketplace or main people talking, trading, or anything?
So, in areas where, wealth flows freely around here, the population sort of starts to separate. People don't typically like having to be in large groups if they don't have to be. And up here, there's not a marketplace. What would you hawk in a marketplace that you'd feel comfortable having on display? 5,000 gold worth of, items? Each individual item worth thousands of gold, you just have that out on regular display? No, you'd have that inside of your building, safe and secure.
Well, if they're all rich, they wouldn't have, a thief problem. So why not? I don't know.
Because they're not, it's not just about being worried about it being stolen. There's so many things that can happen accidentally to your objects if they're not kept in a safe environment. You don't want to have, and of course it's hot outside. Who wants to shop when it's hot? That's pleb shit.
Okay, is there a popular cafe, restaurant where there's a lot of rich people talking, congregating, and having drinks in the hot weather?
Sure, you can go find a restaurant if that's what you'd like.
I'm trying to find a place where I could strike up conversation with fellow rich
Sure.
people.
You can do so. You can walk up to people in the middle of a restaurant and start trying to talk to them.
I'm looking for a cafe, coffee kind of place. People on the if they have what's the word I'm looking for? Patios, they're just
you can find these places. I'm telling you that, and you can.
Well, the way you're wording is
because have you in real life have you ever just wandered up to somebody who is affluent and just tried to spark a conversation with them?
Well, I'm not rich, so no, but regular people I have, and I assume rich people do the same thing.
But just out on the street, you're at a cafe and you just turn to somebody and you're hey, what's a great place to go to get an escort to guide me into the mountains so I can kill myself?
No, sure. Exact words. That is exactly what I wanted to do. No, I would order some food, have some coffee, sitting next to random people and say, hey, so I'm new to town, strike up conversation, say I'm looking to do this, and see what they say.
Okay.
I don't think that sounds crazy or many times in real life. I don't know. It's just a weird thing to do.
Okay.
That's too sociable for my liking. I don't like it.
So you go in, you can sit down with your drink and try to strike up a conversation.
Yeah, I'll look if there's people just having. I'll use my background of being well off to try to pick up on things they're saying, to relate. If they're talking about oh, my servant didn't bring this or something, I'll just chime in and be oh, I hate when that happens, and then try to introduce myself.
Give me a perception followed by diplomacy.
I'm gonna stand a little further away. That way I could survey the entire area.
I was gonna ask, are we even allowed in?
Oh, yeah. Sure, you're allowed in. You're as guards.
Oh God.
I'm being a wallflower and kind of observe the area.
Let me double check something here, because...
definitely want to do a sense motive on the people Arvos tries to talk to.
Hey, Arvos? Can I have you look at the trait that I have open on your character sheet?
Yes.
Oh god.
Is it affable?
So, you try striking up a conversation with the people around you. You overhear them talking about their servants. And why don't you give me what you think an 11 diplomacy would be in trying to have a conversation with them?
Well, slight rule lawyering. Condescending is for people that are not like me. So these are rich folk. If there's any elves here, they are pretty much like me, and I think they're as good to me. If not, then sure, I'll take a -5. So.
I mean, the literal rules for the trait say you take a -5 penalty on diplomacy and intimidate checks to improve other creatures' attitudes towards you.
Sure, yeah, I'm just going off the description. It says, like, raised with the assurance that only those that are truly worthy of respect, you have an off-putting way of
What makes these people worthy of your... These people are, like, weak by comparison. You could wipe these people away by accident if you sneezed and inadvertently cast, like, even a half-ass spell in their vicinity. These people are so much less than you.
Sure. Well, it's the hard thing to RP then, because I want to try to accomplish my task, but I don't know if...
The point is, like, your rules lawyering request is to beat the very implicit flaw that you chose for yourself in like great depth. This is not something that you would be skilled at, and so you get an 11. So I want the idea of what an 11 would be in terms of a conversation between Aravos and one of these other people.
Sure.
Because you're trying to take them from neutral to friendly.
So I'm not really sure how to RP a roll.
Okay, well here, let's go a step further.
How it comes off.
Let's go a step further, and we'll do this rules as written for influencing a character to go from neutral or uninterested.
All I'm trying to say is I want to say what I want to say, and then you can say if I get a low roll, they take it poorly or whatever. I don't know how to change my words to reflect.
Say what you're going to say.
So what do I overhear them saying? They're talking about like unruly servants, or
we'll go with that.
Sure.
Since that's what you said you were kind of looking for more specifically.
Sure. So then I'll just chime in. Oh yes, tell me about it. These two oafs over here, I pay them too much. And this one talked back to me earlier. Unbelievable.
He gestures to people that aren't standing next to him.
They turn to you. He's still standing there. If he talked poorly to you, why is he still standing there? Clearly, you don't understand who the real authority is here. Now, do you?
Well, of course I do. I'm from out of town, so I don't want to...
Well, it shows that you're from out of town. Look at that. You're wearing black and white right now? You think that's what is appropriate wear for this time of year? Huh. Disgusting. Do you have any taste whatsoever? Do you even know what taste is? Probably not. You're probably drinking some sort of overly seasoned thing, aren't you?
What race is this person that's talking to me?
Human.
You
I nudge
filthy...
Cassius. I think we're gonna have to do it your way.
You filthy human. You watch your words when you speak to an elf. I live twice your lifetime and have more respect than you can.
I am watching my words. I'm watching my words cut you to pieces, little man.
With twice a lifetime, that's half as much.
This person is actually shorter than you.
I don't know where you learned, but clearly I'm taller than you in stature and in intelligence.
You may be taller than me.
I'm sorry, is this someone's servant? Who is this talking to? I'm sorry, I thought you were of nobility.
God damn it, I want to drag Arabos out of here. But
well, if this is the kind of riffraff they're starting to let in here, just because he has some sort of very expensive magical jacket, then by all means, we should all just bow down and worship your shitty, out-of-style jacket. The only piece of what you're wearing that means anything to anyone. That and your hideous spike ears. Maybe you should file them down before you hurt someone, including your part. Oh, we don't have to worry about that. You're never going to have one of those.
I want to what?
Oh, you're so dense. You couldn't tell I was talking about the partner you'll never have?
I don't really need a partner. I know there's something.
Oh, right, you can buy one! Or summon one yourself. You're an elf, you probably have all kinds of magical powers, don't you?
Yep, and money. Where do you live? Perhaps I'll buy your house on my way out of here.
I'd love to see you try. I'll tell you what. Let's have a competition. I will buy this business and have you thrown out, unless you can outbuy me. How does that sound?
Sure.
Certainly.
I'm from out of town. Am I allowed to buy things here? Do they sell to foreigners?
Now I think you get my point.
Well, that's just
Take your out-of-style attitude and find somewhere else to have a meal.
You make me.
Is that a threat?
No, it's a statement. You're threatening me to leave, and I'm
telling
quite
you
comfortable
to
where
leave.
I am.
Well, I'm not going anywhere either.
Well,
If only somebody would have warned everybody about the possibility of this outcome happening.
I'm
try
gonna walk
and-
up at this
No.
point and be like, Master, I think it's time we get going.
no, I'm quite comfortable here. Oh, wait, another drink, please.
I'm gonna like kick you in the back.
She lays a
Time.
she like as you ask for the drink and the person like goes to get it, you watch her walk over and whisper something and palm something to the woman. And then come back to the table. And she just sits there staring at you now.
Wait, the waiter's staring at me?
No, the woman you were engaged in the argument with.
Sorry, I misunderstood. So the waiter was coming, but then she just...
The waiter
We
came-
basically paid money to the waiter to not bring you your drink, and now she's staring at you.
Okay.
So she's making it so you can't be served
interesting.
here.
I'll wait for the waiter to return with my drink. I've requested one, so...
Oh, I've taken care of the expense of not serving you. You out-of-towners eventually disappear. There is no long-term concern for your money.
You know what, Ra? I'm kind of glad we did do this.
Can I assess if this person's a spellcaster at all? Do they have spell components on them, or...
Give
Is there
me
anything
a sense motive. That would be sizing someone up.
I wear spell components on my chest all the time.
They don't seem to have any spell components visible.
Cassius. I whisper to Cassius. Go inside and fetch the waiter. Tell her I'll pay her double what she paid her to give me a drink. Now. I whisper, after he's not moving, I whisper to Ra, this is part of the cover. Tell him to do it now.
Your servants don't seem quite responsive. Do you own them or do they own you? Oh, I get it now. They picked out your jacket and you're part of their gang.
This jacket's
I've
worth
got
more than
better
your
style
life.
than that.
Watch your tongue.
I'll tell you
Cassie's
what.
still not getting up? Is Ra not saying anything?
I'll
No one's
tell
saying
you
anything?
what. I will give each of you 10 platinum to come sit with me instead of him.
Tempting.
Arvos gets up. His teammates clearly are not helping with the Shroud, and he will leave.
Okay.
Like, we're trying to do something. You guys are just not answering or doing anything.
Because it's obviously not going well. They're not going to give you any information.
Okay, Arvos leaves the shop and looks at them. Okay, you guys don't want to participate in my plan. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, you wanted me to go get the waiter that she would then just hand double what you paid her in
Oh my
front of
god, forget it.
everybody?
It's over. My plan you guys don't want to go along with. What do you guys want to do? Arvo starts leaving the inner sanctum. Good luck, guys. You're not with me anymore.
All right, Cassius, I think it's time we do it the unfortunate way.
I think it'd probably be best if we let everybody else know what's going on with that, but before we make any decisions, because I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody.
Well, it'll be about that time that Mal, Zeke, and Spinks are making their way down the main streetway. And the two groups will probably see each other in passing, but of course you're pretending not to notice each other.
Yeah, I make no note of them.
Yep.
Unless they're literally like screaming in the streets.
I mean, you can hear Arvos making an uproar, which is how you can kind of catch notice of them. And Mal, you're kind of having a back and forth with the guard who had escorted you initially.
I would just be my conversation with the guard would just be sort of casual insights into his life here, how he's treated, and things like that. But kind of keeping it low key.
So Arvos is storming out angrily, and the two of you are just going to stand there.
Now we better follow at a distance out before we get kicked out or put in jail.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow behind Ra.
Okay. And the six of you really, in one way or another, are led out of the inner sanctum.
All right. As per the plan, I pay no attention to those three.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we should probably go chill somewhere for a little bit until we think it's maybe safe to drop by the forge.
Okay. And I think with that, we will break for tonight. Everybody can go ahead and take let's do 700 XP for tonight. And yeah, we will see everybody later. Good night, everyone.